Yes, so people go to the temple and they try to work and they pray and they ask for all blessings. So in Jesus Christ had in our Bible, Jesus had made the lame walk. The people who couldn't walk, he made them walk with his blessings. People who couldn't see, he made them see. The people who couldn't talk, he made them talk. Just by blessing them. And so this little child wanting to tell his father that we should always go to church at least on this day, the people will be pleasant and remember God in a much more better way by seeing me, that who made me walk and who made lame beggars walk and who made blind men see. So that is all about Jesus Christ. Bob's voice was tremulous, shaking when he told them this, and trembled more when he said that Tiny Tim was growing strong and hearty. And Tiny Tim, the boy with polio, was going stream. The father was very sad at the time, also happy that his son is doing well. When something happens, when someone is sick at home or have severe suffering from these kind of diseases or medical efficiencies, so then people, what to say, I don't know, they are actually very sad from within, and they can't express it, but to show their family that everything is okay, they try to be happy, but at the end of the day you are very sad. But he was also very happy that his son is growing strong also, strong, and he has a good heart. So Tiny Tim's active little crutch was heard upon the floor, and back he came before another word was spoken, escorted by his brother and sister to his stool beside the fire, while Bob made some hot mixture in a jug with lemons. Master Peter and the two young Cratchits went to fetch the goose, with which they soon returned in high procession. Okay, means they had gone to get the goose, the duck which was supposed to come, so they went and shouting and all. It's a good thing which happens at home, everyone is very happy. Such a bustle ensued that you might have thought a goose the rarest of all birds. Mrs. Cratchit made the gravy ready beforehand in a little saucepan, hissing out. Master Peter mashed the potatoes and with incredible vigor. Miss Belinda sweetened up the applesauce. Martha dusted the hot plates. Bob took Tiny Tim beside him in a tiny corner at the table. The two young Cratchits set chairs before everybody, not forgetting themselves, and crammed spoons in their mouths, lest they should shriek for goose before their turn came to be held. At last the dishes were set on the table and grace was said. Grace is prayer is said. It's not a charm. Grace is actually we thank God for our food which we get. It was succeeded by a breathless pause as Mrs. Cratchit, looking slowly along the carving knife, prepared to plunge into the meat, when she said, and when the long expected gush of stuffing issued forth, one murmur of delight arose all around the board, and even Tiny Tim, excited by the two young Cratchits, beat on the table with handle of his knife and feebly cried, "Hooray!" So everything was getting ready, everyone was doing his job. So the small kid Tiny Tim is put on the corner so that while running around anything happens, he does not fall or he does not get hurt, because he has polio and he's got crutches. And everybody's ready at the table, they're ready to say their grace, means the prayers to thank God for this wonderful day they have had and this beautiful food they are going to eat, and this wonderful tasty foods which is going to eat. And again about roasting, when we also roast a chicken, the inside part is all clean and we stuff lot of things inside. Vegetables we put inside, we put potatoes, we put boiled eggs, and then we stitch up the stomach, and then it is roasted. So all the juices also inside get cooked with the vegetables and all, and when you cut it, it all comes out. So that's what people relish that beautiful food. The same thing happens with the ducks. And children always try to thump on the table, they scream, I'm hungry, let's do this, they'll eat very little. But that anxiety, that happiness at home, creates a positive atmosphere, and it's really great. So that is how Christmas is celebrated. There was never such a goose. Bob said he didn't believe there was such a goose cooked. Its tenderness and flavor, size and cheapness were the themes of universal admiration. Eked out. Okay. eked out by applesauce and mashed potatoes. It was a sufficient dinner for the whole family. Indeed, as Mrs. Cratchit said with great delight, serving one small atom of a bone upon the dish. They hadn't eaten it all at last, yet everyone had had enough, and the youngest Cratchits in particular were steeped. Okay? Were steeped in sage and onion to the eyebrows. But now the plates being changed by Miss Belinda, Mrs. Cratchit left the room alone to take the pudding up and bring it in. Now what happens, children wait to eat and they want to eat and they take a lot but they can't finish it, So what happens when you have various type of food on the table? So if you take little of each and you start eating, your stomach gets full, right? But in children's case, it happened with me also when I was a kid. I love biryani and Chinese, so wherever I used to go with my dad, any restaurant with my family or something, I used to order, I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that, and I could not finish it all. Then my mother used to take my plate and start finishing it, and my father used to also take, and my mother used to start shouting, you guys don't eat properly, you can't eat properly, you order and you can't eat, we have to finish it. So our eyes are bigger than our stomach. So that's what it is said like that. So that's what she changes the plates, she takes it back to the kitchen. So food is going to be left over in the fridge or whatever is going to stay, they'll eat it again. But now the plates were opening up for the pudding, the main part, the sweet dish. So suppose it should not be done enough, suppose it should break in turning out, suppose somebody should have got over the wall of the backyard and stolen it while they were eating the goose. All sorts of horrors were supposed. Hello, a great deal of steam. The pudding was out of the copper, a smell like washing day. That was the cloth, a smell like an eating house, and a pastry cooks next door to each other with a laundress next door to that. That was the pudding. In half a minute Mrs. Cratchit entered, flushed but smiling proudly with the pudding like a speckled cannonball, so hard and firm, blazing in lighted brandy, and with the Christmas holly stuck on the top. The Christmas holly is a type of that is got these green leaves and red seeds hanging. Those are called holly. It's called the holly tree, and it comes with those leaves. So you stick it into it, and the pudding was glazed with brandy. So what happens when you pour brandy upon the pudding and it's heated and steamed, it gets that glaze, that shining effect. So they were assuming that while eating something, our lunch, we were so engrossed in eating our lunch, someone must have stolen away the pudding from the kitchen and gone. We were so much enjoying the food, but nevertheless it was ready. It was looking like coming out from the baker's oven, steamed oven, and smelling so good. The flavor comes out so much. You get that vanilla essence which flows around anyway. You go to a shop, buy a vanilla essence, you just open the bottle, the whole shop will smell. It's a very beautiful smell, vanilla essence. It's green in color. And oh, a wonderful pudding, Bob Cratchit said, and calmly too, that he regarded it as the greatest success achieved by Mrs. Cratchit since their marriage. Mrs. Cratchit said that now the weight was off her mind. She would confess that her doubts about the quantity of flour, everybody had something to say about it, but nobody thought or said it was at a small pudding for a large family. At last, the dinner was all done. The table was cleared. The hearth, and the hearth is the place of the fireplace. That is all cleared and all. So kept all wood and all is cleared. So what happens when the mother cooks something? The father always says, "Oh, today it's not good. Little bit salt should have been there. You cook much better than this, that." There's always a complaint. But on that day, even though the pudding was small and the actual ingredients, actual taste came up, no one complained, and they said this is the best ever thing you have done throughout your whole marriage. That means he's trying to say, in so many years' time, so this was the best Christmas they are having and they're enjoying it. And after that, the table gets cleared, the places are all cleared, and then the compound in the jug tasted, and they had made some drink for them with lime and all that, with hot water, warm water. You drink it as a juice. And then the seniors, the elder people at home have wine, and the oranges were put on the table, shovel for chestnuts on the fire. You have chestnuts, you burn them in the fire, you crack it and you can eat it. All the Cratchit family gathered round the hearth in what Bob Cratchit called a circle, meaning half a one, and at Bob Cratchit's elbow stood the family display of glass, two tumblers, and a custard cup without a handle. These held the hot stuff from the jug, however, as well as golden goblets would have done. Bob served it out with beaming looks while the chestnuts on the fire sputtered and cracked noisily. Then Bob said, "A Merry Christmas to all of us, my dears, God bless us." Which all the family re-echoed. God bless us everyone, said Tiny Tim, the last of all. What happens at the end of the feast and all, and whatever lunch happened, people get together with their family, they sit and they drink and they have fun and they talk to each other, they open their presents. But they were so poor, they could only have a food for their Christmas, but they couldn't have a Christmas tree. So whatever, at least God helped them to have the dinner. They had a very nice dinner with the children, and they wanted to, so that God bless all of them, and they had a wonderful time. So this is how people spend Christmas. No matter you're rich or poor, as long as you have a good heart and you keep smiling and helping others and help others whenever it's needed, God will always help you. So wonderful story. I hope you understood it. I was able to tell it to you in a better way, or in a rather different way as a story is told. So take care, be happy. See you in the next class again on Tuesday, I guess, most probably, yes, Tuesday. So okay, take care, be good, and love your parents as much as you can, and be happy, and stay home, stay safe, and a belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there for creating such wonderful diamonds like you all, and you are out there in the society, and I am honored to be there with you all, you kids, you champs, you tigers, you cheetahs, and I hope I am able to take you through this journey, and you will be trained before that you step out into this world. Thank you so much, and take care. God bless. Bye bye.